Hey, what's up you guys? This is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today on the Quick Draw, we've got our hands on the
symbol of treachery, of injustice, a reward from the hands of a murderer.
Oh, hell no! You need to get back to your own show. Get out of here!
Okay.
I gotta review this damn Karak Wraith. So for those of you who aren't aware, I reviewed the Karak last January, and I was not fond of it whatsoever. It didn't have any stopping power, you were constantly reloading it, it ate through ammo like nobody's business, and in general, was just what I would consider to be a trash tier weapon. So the question here is, does the Wraith version make enough improvements to make this weapon viable? Now you can pick up this
by stabbing your brethren in the back and supporting the man who dissected your own kind and used them for scrap parts, weaponizing them and turning them against you. You should be disgusted with yourselves, Tenno.
Okay, so you're done now, right? So while currently this is only available through fully supporting a faction during the Two Men of Rhaegor operation, as we've seen recently with the return of another Wraith weapon, we may eventually see this come back around. So if you missed it, be sure to keep your eyes peeled for future events. Now, the Karak Wraith's primary damage type is Impact, followed up with a splash of Puncture and even less slashing. Now, Impact damage only really specializes in shielding, making it a great choice against the Corpus. However, it does suffer resistance against Flesh and Clone Flesh, so be sure to use the appropriate elemental combo in order to deal the optimal amount of damage. So as compared to the original Karak, this has 3 more base damage. Its critical chance is increased by 2.5%, bringing it to a whopping 5%. Its critical damage now has a 2 times multiplier. Its status is doubled, sitting at 15%, as well as its magazine, which has gone from 30 to 60 rounds per clip. Now, as you can see, it's not a huge improvement. However, one of my biggest issues with the classic Karak was that its magazine was teeny tiny, and I'm a bit of a size queen when it comes to clip size. The original literally had to burn an entire clip, then reload in order to finish off a Corpus Engineer. So in this case, bigger is definitely better. Now, another notable improvement that doesn't seem like much of an improvement is actually its status chance, as 2 elemental status mods can bring it up to 53%, which isn't amazing, but it definitely helps this suck less when stacking Magnetic and Toxin against the Corpus. However, I still wouldn't touch this thing when up against high-level Grineer. So I will give credit where credit is due. I do like the improved magazine size. I'm quite fond of its innate fire rate, as it's fast, but not fast to the point where a single click overkills an enemy and eats up all of your ammo. I really like the accuracy because it makes it feasible at mid to long range, and for those that enjoy this weapon enough, after a few forma, tossing on a heavy caliber may not be so painful. And its status chance is a halfway decent consolation prize. It's kind of like, congrats, you didn't kill it yet, but look, it's on fire, and the average penis size isn't as big as you think it is, so really, you can still feel good about yourself as a man. But aside from that, this sits squarely as a mid-tier weapon, and not an exciting mid-tier weapon at that, which is probably my biggest issue with this. I mean, we've got weapons like the Buzzlock, the Galaxion, the Attica, and I'll even vouch for the Parasist, things with cool mechanics who may not necessarily be considered endgame, but at least they make you feel kind of badass when doing it. Honestly, while the improvements are nice, it still feels like Babby's first assault rifle. Now, speaking of being unimpressed, can we talk? Okay, so one of the bigger things that irritated me about this event was the fact that everybody was getting so hyped over this weapon. And honestly, I just didn't get it. See, for me, this was like everybody telling me about some guy I used to date. How much he's changed, how he's pulled his life together, and how I should really give him a second shot. Only to find that nothing had really changed at all. Sure, maybe he's got a new haircut and he's driving a different car, but the fact is he's still working at the same shitty job and got the same shitty attitude. There's nothing to get excited over. If you like him so much, feel free to bang him yourself, because I've been there twice now, and I can attest that I've had much better. Because when it comes down to it, some things never change. While on the surface some things can't seem better, down deep at its core, its mechanics haven't. I see you there!
Okay,
no, this is my time, okay? Now, before I get interrupted again, let's get back to the quick draw. So all in all, the Karak Wraith isn't bad at mid-tier. However, you really start feeling it choke once you hit the higher end of the star chart and encounter some of the tougher enemies, especially when you're pulling endurance runs on survival or defense. In addition, while this doesn't have horrible ammo efficiency, it's not great either. So be sure to equip your Sahasa, toss on an ammo mutation, or equip a few ammo pads. Or, you know, just don't use it. Now personally, I find it to be quite boring, and while it's not terrible for lower ranked players, there are much better assault rifles out there. And don't get me wrong, it's not a crime to be a mid-tier weapon. However, it is a crime to be a boring mid-tier weapon in a game about space ninjas with magical powers. But then again, I guess that's what the ribbon is for, to distract you from its blatant mediocrity. So thank you all for watching another episode of The Quick Draw. For a little history lesson, catch my original review of the Karak. And so console players don't make the same mistake, check out the propaganda video for the Operation 2 Men of Rhaegor. Now don't forget to do all the things that I ask you to do at the end of every one of these, and as always, stay tuned for far more exciting weapons and the reviews, hopefully, here at A Gay Guy Plays.
Congratulations, Tenno. You handed a cure to a murderer, turning your backs on all of the Tenno.
That's right, y'all are traitors, just handing out cures to murderers and letting them run. Oh, you didn't see me here? Surprise! Maybe now you know how it feels.